Well, hello everyone, and thank you again for joining us for today's webinar, How to Build and Leverage a Powerful Boston University Network on LinkedIn. My name is Jeff Murphy. I'm an Associate Director in the BU Alumni Relations Office, and again, I'm really delighted that you've chosen to join us for our Professional Development webinar series. Today's webinar is sponsored by the BU Alumni Association and the BU Development and Alumni Relations Office and is offered to our 300,000 alumni around the globe. Throughout your career, the BU Alumni Association is committed to helping you define and achieve your professional goals. We aim to do this by providing alumni with access to a series of valuable online tools and social media communities. This webinar series is a new venture for us, and we very much look forward to receiving your feedback. We're going to be sending out a survey later today to your email addresses, and please know that we really do value your feedback. I hope that you'll take a minute to fill out the survey and get your thoughts back to us so that we can help take this in a direction that you all would like to see us take it into. Before I introduce today's speaker, a couple of important notes. First, this webinar is being hosted on the Adobe Connect online meeting platform. If you have any trouble at all with the audio or visual portions of today's presentation, I ask that you please contact Adobe Connect directly at 1-800-422-3623. Today's presentation is being recorded and will soon be made available for on-demand viewing on the BU Alumni Association website, which you can find at www.bu.edu/alumni. I also request that you visit our website to check out some of the other online career tools we offer, such as CareerBeam, which I think a lot of people are excited about once they first experience it. Our speaker today is very eager to answer any questions that you have. You're welcome to submit them throughout the presentation using the question and answer chat box that you should see located below the visual portion of the webinar at the bottom of your screen. We hope to get to as many questions as we can today during the webinar, so please feel free to submit those. It's now my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker for the day. Dan Green is a 1993 graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences and now works as a Global Solutions Account Executive at LinkedIn. Dan is focused on working with organizations and helping them understand, leverage, and maximize LinkedIn for personal, professional, and corporate gain. His insights and expertise have had a tremendous impact for hundreds of companies and thousands of professionals in all areas of organizations. He brings 9 years of power LinkedIn usage and 3 years of business development and relationship management experience working at LinkedIn. He's also a very active member of our BU Alumni Association LinkedIn group, and being here today, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jeff, and hello, Boston University alumni and students, potentially. I guess there's students on here as well. I want to thank Jeff Murphy and the Boston University Alumni Association. This is a great opportunity, not just for LinkedIn, but for me personally. I usually speak to a lot of companies, but I was asked a couple months ago to talk to the university. We just launched formally our university initiative in the summer, and I took it upon myself personally to try and get more active in expanding it. And so this is something new to me. So I just want to set expectations here. And really the goal for today is to build a powerful Boston University community on LinkedIn. And first, I think we should probably take a poll, Jeff, if we can just get some answers on which answer best describes your skill level at using LinkedIn. If you can just answer this question real quick, we can get an idea of kind of who I'm talking to. Oh, wow, a lot of people still not members. Okay, good. Okay, so A is I'm not a LinkedIn member yet. I have a profile but rarely use it as B. I use LinkedIn monthly as C. I'm on LinkedIn weekly or daily, D, and I have no idea what LinkedIn is. Good, so there's 0% that have no idea what LinkedIn is. Okay, so essentially I break it down like this. There are two types of members on this call, LinkedIn members. There's beginners who clearly are not members. They don't have a profile, or they might have a profile but they're not proactive on it. And then I'd bucket everyone else in the advanced area where you have a profile, you've set it up, you've begun to develop your network, and potentially you're actively engaged on LinkedIn. And so the goal here is for the two groups is to synchronize ourselves as a community. For the new users after this presentation, the goal is to really understand why you're on LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is, and how to build a strong foundation for maximum success to get you in that position to become more active on LinkedIn as a member. And for the advanced users, what the goal is to really coordinate your engagement activities for maximum success. You have a profile, you have a very strong network, and what we want you to do is do something very coordinated relating to Boston University. So let's get started. I will introduce myself. This is my profile. Again, my name is Dan Green. I've worked with LinkedIn for almost 3 years. I graduated Boston University in 1993. Whoops, sorry about that. Sorry about this, guys. Jeff?
No problem, Dan. We'll get you back up and running in a second.
There we go. Sorry about that. So this is my profile. I work with LinkedIn for 3 years, Boston University graduate, graduated with a philosophy degree in 1993. That makes me over 40 years old. And actually, this is not my profile. That's not my picture. This is my picture. That was me for 20 years ago. So not much has changed, as you can tell, except for I dress a little bit better. But that was me 20 years ago. So this is what we call my top card. And it's all the essential information about me as a professional. That left side is what we call our top card at LinkedIn. It's got my picture, which is really important to attach a name to a face. If you've met someone at a conference, there's lots of Dan Greens out there, so potentially you could match my face with my name. Of course, it's got my name very prominent at the top. Underneath that, it's got what we call my tagline. A tagline is something that you can customize. It defaults to your current title that you've put in your profile. I've customized it to say something a little bit more unique and original regarding what I do. It shows the region that I call home for my profession. I've identified what industry I'm in, which is information technology and services. That's something that I've chosen. It shows my current company, previous companies, and what's not surprising too is it shows that I graduated from Boston University. Now this little card, what we call the top card, it's the top of your profile that you enter in. This travels around all over LinkedIn with whatever you do. If someone clicks on your picture, if they see something that you've shared, if they've seen an article that you've shared, this information predominantly shows them who you are. If I communicate with someone, and they'd ask the question, what's the number one question that you would ask someone if you were connecting with them professionally? It would be, what university did you graduate from? So it's a good question for professional networking, and we put it on that top card for a reason. So what we also have on the profile is more places that you can add your education. So I put in my high school just in case there are people that I went to high school with that want to connect with me and find me. But I also put in some really unique experience that I had at American School in London. My father in 1984 moved me and my mother to London in the fourth quarter of my freshman year. So in a month I had to take my final exams in a new school. And essentially it disrupted my grade point average. And that's what I used to get into Boston University, into the general studies part of the school, which offers the opportunity for people who've had a unique experience that doesn't really represent their grade point average. So a lot of you might be asking, well, how did a guy who went to the College of Basic Studies or General Studies with a philosophy degree get into a great company like LinkedIn? And LinkedIn is a very hard company to get into these days. It's a very hot company. And I'll explain, and I'm very proud of this. In 2002, my family business was acquired by a company called Advent Software. And Advent was trying to switch its software company into a data services company, and they hired a young guy named Mike Gamson to build a small team to do this. And I started working with Mike Gamson in 2002. I also bumped into a couple other people, Pete Kim, who was a relationship manager, Mark Labasco, which was an account executive, salesperson. George Siders was a product manager, and Dan Nye was the head of sales there, and we traveled around together. We went out together, and we had a lot of fun. In 2006, I left Advent Software to go into other financial software companies and software firms. And in 2010, I got married and had a kid, and I realized that I didn't really like finance, and I had to figure out what my next step was. And I looked throughout my network, and I noticed that all 5 of these Pete Kim is the head of relationship managers, Mike Gamson's the head of sales, and George Siders was the product manager for one of our key products called Recruiters. And so what I did was I reached out to these people, and I'm not ashamed to say that I ultimately leveraged my network. And what you're looking at here is a spaghetti pile of dots, and each dot here represents a connection to me. There's over 950 dots on this page. And everyone who's got a LinkedIn profile who has connections can do this today. This is a hack that was developed a couple of years ago by a couple engineers, which was very successful. A lot of people use this to, for the first time, potentially look in the history of humanity, to look at what their network of professionals, of their colleagues, looks like. All these people are interconnected. And Reid Hoffman, our founder, once said, your network is the people who want to help you and you want to help them, and that's really powerful. And so all these people I've purposely picked to connect with, and they've purposely picked to connect with me, and I've accepted that connection. And we can actually dissect each one of these little colors. This little group of dots are my LinkedIn network. All these people work at LinkedIn. The different colors represents the different business units that I've worked for. The yellows group are the people in the Talent Solutions group, and the blue group are the people in the Marketing Solutions group. The orange group here is my Advent network. When I worked at Advent, these are all the people that I worked with and I connected to. And as you can see, there's some overlap, and these are super connectors. These are the Mike Gamsons, the Pete Kims, the people that I work for and work with now at LinkedIn, and they're very highly connected to people at Advent. The green group are people that I worked with before I came to LinkedIn. And they're also in financial software, so they also share some connections with some Advent people. The blue group is my family company, and some people still work at Advent. Some people have been connected to my former company, Informa. The pink group are friends that I've connected with that I think are important to professionally connect with as well. Maybe some local people that I go out with, or some real estate people or mortgage people or banking people that I do business with personally. The gray group are clients that I've worked with over the many years. And what's really interesting, this little group over here is my Boston University network. And what I noticed in the last month when I was thinking about this presentation is that I believe that we're in a unique time right now in professional networking, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn was founded in 2005, and when I started using LinkedIn in 2005, 2006, my Boston University friends were long gone, long lost. I probably had about 5. So my network of Boston University alumni and friends is very small, and I believe that new grads, people under 30 years old, probably have a very strong Boston University network today. And I think what we can learn from this today is that people over 30, I think, need to start reaching back out to the Boston University community and start connecting better, so that we can share some of our industry connections with those people that have just recently graduated, and vice versa. A lot of the Boston University recent grads are starting to build very powerful networks with their friends and people that just graduated. And we need to start connecting, they need to start connecting to us, the over 30-year-olds. For the people that don't quite have a profile just yet, I'm going to talk a little bit about what really the evolution of personal communication has been to give you an understanding and a baseline for where we're at. A lot of kickback, I'm sure, is in your mind about why you would want to join a professional network. And essentially, it started, 10,000, 100,000 years ago with fireside chats. That's how we communicated efficiently. And you'd have a person from another tribe come over and sit around a fireside to communicate ideas and to share stories. And over time, that continued. There was customization of methods of getting longer distances. People started perfecting getting from one place to another and giving them messages to do that. Smoke signals were ways to conquer long distances, but the message wasn't very clear. The Pony Express kind of created the first networks, faster networks using faster animals to get farther places. And that was formalized into the post office, and those networks that were created to carry documents back and forth. Morse code started to expand on networks, and then the telephone was a network that helped people communicate verbally across long distances. The fax machine expanded on the postal service to get business documents faster to places around the world. And now, we're close to the email age and the text age. Email, I remember back in the 90s when there were colleagues of mine that didn't want to use email because they felt it wasn't personal enough. And obviously today they're not in that mindset. Text messaging also, some colleagues of mine didn't use because they didn't want to be they didn't want to be found at hours that they didn't want to talk to someone or communicate with someone. So now it's just a new age of social networking, where these networks are built. They're very contextual. So if you want to find a video, you can go to a place and communicate what your thoughts are about that video on a place called YouTube or Flickr, where you can share photos and talk about those, or LinkedIn or Facebook. And that's where we're at today. And effectively, we're just scaling conversations and networks. We're just scaling our communications and sharing of ideas. And that's just a brief history of personal communications. And so today's plan is really to understand LinkedIn for those people, that 20% or so that don't have a profile today or are not very active, and to how to use LinkedIn for Boston University networking success. And before you can build a high quality network like I have, and to find alumni that you know and to engage with that network and to gain insights, it really all starts with you. It really all starts with building a very solid LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to show you quickly how to do that in a little bit. And then we'll open it up to some Q&A as Jeff mentioned. So I always like to show, especially in a new type of company like LinkedIn, what our mission is. And there's this misconception that there's this perception that we're a place that you would go to find a job. And that's probably what majority of what we did a couple of years ago, but we've really shifted quickly. And our top line mission, and actually our mission for our Talent Solutions group, which is the group that works with recruiters, their mission is to connect talent with opportunity at massive scale. But if you go above that and you look at LinkedIn as a whole, our mission is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. There's two different mindsets for using social networking. One mindset was a mindset that predominantly is your Facebook mindset, your Twitter mindset, where people are actually going to those places to spend time. They're going there to entertain themselves. They're a little bored. They want to see what friends are sharing. They want to see baby pictures or pictures of a party that they went to. And it's kind of a leisurely and passive activity. And when they come to a network like LinkedIn, it's really to invest time. It's a real aspirational effort for them. They go there to gain some insights. They're goal focused. They're looking to connect with someone who they think can leverage their career or their leverage an opportunity. They're forward looking and they're purposeful. And so those are two different mindsets, and that's why there is this difference between Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all these other networks. So just to give you some perspective, our value propositions are three. We offer a place for you as a professional to build an identity, to connect with people around you, to find people, and to be found by colleagues and people that could leverage your connections. And it's really different, quite different from a resume. A resume is something that you would put together to explain why you should be hired somewhere, as opposed to what your profile should be, which is why someone would want to connect with you or do business with you. And that's how you should look at it. Insights is something that we've really expanded upon in the last couple of years, and it's a place that people come to be great at what they do, to find out information, whether it's what their network is sharing, what the predominant news for the day is in an industry, or what leaders in industry are talking about, who's connecting to who, and to really gain insights into something that will make you better at what you're doing that day or that year. And then to be everywhere, to take your network wherever our members go. We've got some great mobile applications that allow you to do that. So shifting the workforce from a tethered environment to the desktop to a place that you can go on the road and still have the same types of tools. Those are our value props. And today we are the world's largest professional network. We've got members all around the world. This is not just a United States-based network. We have 92 million members in North America, but we also have a lot of members in EMEA. We've got a very fast-growing membership in Asia Pacific. India is our second largest country with 21 million members, and our fastest country growth is in Brazil with Latin America and Caribbean is 15 million members. We're growing at 2 new members per second. We have about 100 million members coming every month, unique members coming every month. We're about 238 million members, and actually we just released our earnings and came out with our new membership of 259. So we gained 21 million members in the last 3 months. And so just give you some more perspective of a global workforce of 3.6 billion workers, we estimate that there's about 650 million professionals globally. And we think we have probably about a third of those professionals on LinkedIn. So it's a place where people are more and more trying to get to do some business. More stats on top of that, 2/3 moving forward, just to give some more numbers and perspective on LinkedIn, I've kind of hidden the answers here. And before we get to our final question, 30 million represents one of our fastest growing demographics. And that's actually students and recent grads. This is our fastest growing demographic. Students are graduating now, even in the high school level, and creating their profile because they know it's important for when they get out to get their first job or to leverage opportunities. 3 million companies right now are established on LinkedIn, so a place that you can go to understand what a company does. Maybe you've heard of a company and you want to find out if you know anyone that works there. Companies have established places that you can go to understand what they do, what they sell, and who works for them. 2 million groups on LinkedIn, and this is going to be really important to our discussion with building a strong community on LinkedIn. Boston University community. This is a place where like-minded people go to discuss like-minded ideas and opportunities. There are almost 6 billion professional searches in 2012. I bet this is probably going to almost double in 2013. The number one activity on LinkedIn is to look up other people. You meet someone at Starbucks or at a conference or someone who sits next to you, you go and the first thing you do is you look them up on LinkedIn and look to see if you want to connect with them. And so the question now for everyone is, what do you think the 150,000 represents on LinkedIn? 150,000 plus. So we've got a lot of universities, a lot of Boston University alumni, people switching up their answers from Boston professionals. Yeah, so C is the right answer. There are over 150,000 Boston University alumni on LinkedIn. That's a huge number, and we're very high up there on the list of university alumni on LinkedIn. And that's what we're going to talk about leveraging and growing. We want to be the strongest university alumni on LinkedIn, and how we're going to get there is threefold. One is to build a very strong Boston University network. It's really important for those beginner LinkedIn people to fill in your profile. And it's really this top card. You really need to obviously put your name and your photo, but tell us where you call home. Where does your business call home? What industry do you think you're a part of? What's your current company that you work for? What's your title at that company? What are some previous companies that you worked for? And definitely, without a doubt, put that you've gone and graduated from Boston University, and hopefully you can put that you graduated from a certain year. Because if you do this, then I will show you how everyone on LinkedIn can get to something like this. This is a pivot table on LinkedIn, and I'll show you how to get here. This is a static version of it, but you can actually click and choose what pieces of insight you want to find. This shows all the Boston University alumni, where they live, where they call home, where they work, and what they do. And there's actually 3 other sets of information you can pivot on. So if I'm going to Rhode Island for business, I can tell that there's 675 Boston University alumni that call Providence, Rhode Island home. And if I click on that, it'll pivot to where those 1,600 or EMC, it'll pivot on Boston University alumni that call Providence, Rhode Island home and that work at EMC. So really important way to allow us to leverage a really great community of great professionals. And it's really important to build that top card, to build your profile. We're going to just quickly go through that in a little bit. And number 2, for when you do have a strong profile and you start building your network, we're going to really try and get you guys engaged in some group activity. And Boston University has a huge group ecosystem. There's the Boston University Alumni Group. There's a Boston University Students Alumni Faculty Group, School of Management Alumni. And these are all different groups that you can join. Some have more members than others. Some are more active than others. And you can see that, you know, the Boston University Alumni Group has 22,000 active members and 45 different discussions going on this month. And here's some more groups that you can join. And I'll even expand it to even more. And there's even more than all these. And it gets, you know, more and more unique. So Boston University Alumni of Southern California. And some of these groups actually communicate through these groups to meet in person, meet at coffee shops or get together. This is where they communicate that activity. So there's a lot that you can join. So just in general, our tour right now for the next 10 minutes or so is going to be to show you the homepage, to show you what it does and what you do when you're on that homepage, to build a profile, building a strong network, and then engaging with the network and gaining some insights. So these are the steps that we're going to go through. So now I'm going to share my screen and share my my LinkedIn homepage. And when I log into LinkedIn, and just as a preface, I have the most the highest level of LinkedIn subscription that you can have. So some of you might not see some of the things that I can see. I have a premium subscription, so I can communicate with people that I'm not connected to. I can see and search for people and find more information about them with my privileges. You can do that by just going to this top area and going to increase your account to a Sales Pro or to whatever account you'd like to choose from. But the free version essentially is the same. This is kind of like a lazy stream of insights and people sharing news articles. These are all people I'm connected to sharing information about companies that they like, insights that they like, and we call it Coffee with Your Network. We tell everyone every day, come in with your coffee, sit down, log into LinkedIn and see what people are talking about in your network so that you can be prepared for the day and you can get some insights about what's going on, whether it's in your industry or within your network. And just to show you at the top, it's really a logical progression of where we're going to go. So this is the home page and your information at your fingertips. But I can look at my profile and I can look at who's viewed my profile. I can build my network more by finding different types of people or looking at the contacts in my network. I can look for jobs, or I can find insights about companies or groups, or look at news, or look at different universities. And so at the top, I'm just going to be able to bubble up people that you never thought that we'd know that you should connect to. And as you build your network, this gets more and more refined. So, you know, I can understand actually why LinkedIn is trying to get me to connect with someone at this company called Cotap, because I'm very active in and interested in a certain type of social network, which is similar to what this guy Jim Patterson does. So really interesting how it kind of instigates me to build my network. So we're going to just jump over to the profile. And so this is my top card at the top of the page, and I'm just going to close that up. This is my top card, which I showed you. And really simply, all you need to do is just edit your profile. And once you click on that, it'll allow you to edit your experience, edit your education, edit your name. This is where you edit your tagline. And again, this defaults to your current title, so I've customized that to Building Connected Organizations. And you can do all that, and you can do all those changes right here. And as you shift down, you can see activity that I've been doing on LinkedIn. You can create a summary of who you think you are professionally. I have some information about who I work for, and I talk about what I do at LinkedIn. I also have some experience, my education, and you can move all these different pieces around to be highlighted either at the top or in the middle by just moving over this info. You can add files, maybe papers that you worked on. I have a patent that I've included, and all my experience with documents that I'm sharing with people that want to know a little bit more about me, potentially to do business or to connect with me. And there's lots of information you can add. And again, as a basic user, really we're just focused on this top card. If you can fill in your education, that's really important to building a strong Boston University network. Because once you do that, then you can start connecting with people by finding alumni. And if we move over to network and at the bottom of that pull-down menu, find alumni, it shows me that pivot table of people that graduated between the years of '89 and '93. It shows me where they live, where they work, what they do, and as I scroll over, what they studied, where they're skilled at, and how they're connected to me. So there's 849 people that are Boston University alumni that are connected to people that I'm connected to. There's 3,200 group members in my network, and third degree is people connected to my second degree. So another interesting possibility is if you graduated like I did with a philosophy degree and not sure what you want to do with that, you can find people with philosophy degrees and find out where they work and what they've ended up doing. So there's 257 people with philosophy degrees. 39 of them work in nonprofits. 36 of them do public speaking, higher education, teaching. These are all skills that they've said that they have. A lot of people in different universities, IBM, Cisco, Verizon, and you can expand this even more. I can see how many people and that's a great way to find out what are opportunities out there with your degree. You can even change schools. I can look at other schools that I graduated from or that I had experience in, or I can look at similar schools, NYU or Syracuse. I can even add people with no dates, and I can even expand this to all Boston University graduates. And then I can even scroll down and start connecting with people. So I might know Bob Kelly, I might know Carla Simo, I might have lost touch, but I just found them here. And once you connect an invitation, and this is just something to keep in mind, always try and add a personal message to why you want to connect with him. Mark might not remember who I am. Mark might not know why I'm trying to connect with him. So it's important to add, hey, Mark, I went to school with you in 1991. I remember you were in a class. Really interested in connecting with you again. We had a great time at Boston, and looking forward to potentially getting in touch with you in the future. Always add some sort of insight into why you're trying to connect with them, if you can. And as we scroll over from network and contacts, we can start going over to interest. And as you build your profile and your identity on LinkedIn, this is when you're going to start engaging more on LinkedIn. You're going to start to get relevant information and insights about your industry because you've put that in your profile, or people are going to start sharing news and insights that they want their network to read, and you'll start reading those and sharing them with your network. You can look up companies and do research on companies or see what companies are trying to share with you, and you can share those with people in your network. But most important for our conversation is groups. And you can start looking up different groups on LinkedIn and start joining the conversations that are going on. And there's lots of conversations that I've been involved with where there's recent grads that are looking to try and get out to San Francisco, and they don't know who to talk to about getting, an apartment in San Francisco to get a job out here, and just trying to connect those people with opportunities to get an apartment. Maybe there's a colleague that works next to you that is also looking for an apartment, and you can connect the two. Or you can help people by meeting them out for coffee and explaining to them what you do and getting them right on the right path. Or even you could be a mortgage broker in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I could be looking for a mortgage broker, and I understand that you're an alumni of mine, and that kind of makes me feel more comfortable. So there's all different groups that you can join. Here's the Boston University Alumni Association. And when I click into it, here's all different discussions that are going on. Here's Jeff Murphy. And I can even look up different groups by typing in Boston University. And here are just some suggested groups. I can click enter, go to more, and here are all the groups that I could possibly join that have Boston University in it. And like I said, there's many, many, many groups. So for the sake of time, that's
Thanks, Dan. That was fantastic. Just a reminder to folks, a couple of you have already submitted questions, but if you've got anything that you want to ask about, go ahead and type those in the Q&A. The first question that came through was from Marhar, and it was a question about the top card, Dan. You mentioned some of the things that you can customize. Can you customize the industry label?
You can't customize the industry. You're given choices when you do that in a pull-down bar right here. And this actually took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to choose. And it's actually a little misleading sometimes. You could be an IT professional at Wells Fargo, and what do you consider your industry? Are you an IT professional, or are you in financial? So you've got to make that decision, and you can play around with this as much as you want. But this is customizable to the degree that you can just change it based on these. And then, of course, you can customize your tagline, which is right here. That's completely customizable.
I got a great question that just came in from Lisa. Lisa's wondering if you have any tips to share with us on creating a compelling summary.
Yeah, definitely. I always say don't speak in the third person. There's a lot of people that are okay with it. I believe you're trying to explain to someone what you do and you know why you're great at what you do. And I also have a preference of talking a little bit about the company that you work for today. I mean, essentially, you work there. You want to be positive about the company that you work for today. If you're a recent grad, maybe just talk about what you think you're great at, what your main assets are professionally or skill set wise. There is another place to add skills more formally on the LinkedIn profile, but this is a place to be a little bit more creative about that. So I have my summary is think big, work hard, have fun, and change the world. And I work for an amazing company, LinkedIn. The culture is, so I talk about the company, about the team, we have fun. I sell the company first, and then I talk about a little bit about what I do. Professionally, I'm privileged to work with incredible companies. I've focused on guiding these companies towards the best approach to harness LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. Proud to bring my 20 years experience. Keep it short, maybe 3 paragraphs is the maximum. 2 paragraphs is probably best. And maybe put some information about, what you're interested in at the time. This is the mindset divide, which I talked about, which was a TNS research paper that I think is fascinating about the differences between social networks and professional networks. So go check it out.
Great. Getting a couple questions about the profile page. Barbara is asking, can you put work experience in the order that you prefer, or does it force you to go by chronological order?
That's a good question. I have never gotten that question. I believe it goes chronologically based on the dates that you put in. So let me just, let's just experiment here. Great question. Wow. Stumped the link. Order it by the dates that I put in here. 90% sure. So you cannot order it, is the answer, unless you change the dates or you manipulate the dates. And a lot of people actually, if they're consultants and they're working with multiple companies, they'll just keep saying that I work there presently, and it'll organize it by the first date that you have in there when you started, and then the more recents.
Great. Dan, we're getting a number of questions about the paid option versus the free option. Is it worth it to pay for a LinkedIn account? Is there a premium level for job seekers versus a premium level for salespeople? And obviously, you're a LinkedIn employee. The company's looking to make money. But can you give us an overview about the paid versions and who might want to access different types?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to actually, I was kind of prepared for this. Can everyone see my screen?
Looks good to me, Dan.
Visibility?
You could try to enlarge it a little bit if you can.
Yeah, can't. Okay. So what I would do if I was a new person to LinkedIn, I would first build your profile because that's the same for anyone. Build your network. Start with the people that are immediately around you. If you're a recent grad, it's going to be the people that you went to school with. You're definitely connect with your family and friends of your family members. They could have a strong network that you could tap into, and they could make introductions. So start with that. That's the free version. You get no ability to communicate through what we call InMail. It's like an internal email via LinkedIn to communicate a message to them saying, "Hey, my name's Dan. I don't know if you remember me. I'd love to chat with you about an opportunity that I'm working on." You don't have the ability to do that. Also, visibility is limited for the free members. So when you do a search for someone that might be really far outside of your network, maybe someone that is not connected to someone that you've already connected to, that maybe they're third degrees away, you won't get visibility into a lot of those names. So as you get a little bit deeper into LinkedIn, after you establish a very strong profile and a really good network of start finding you and connecting with you, and long lost people start coming out of the woodworks. People start sharing things with you, or you join a group and it really opens up some insights, or you start connecting with following thought leaders. We have over 300 thought leaders that provide unique content about what makes them great at what they do, or information. You start reading some of that. Then you start thinking about paying for the enhanced version of LinkedIn. And whether you're a sales professional looking to understand how to find someone through your connections, so that rather than doing a cold call, you have some insight on them that can make that person respond to you quicker, whether it's the person sitting next to you exposing that they have a connection to that person and then making that introduction to them, or just insight about who they are, and maybe you had similar experiences that you can leverage and name drop. So yeah, I would say that after you build your profile, you make a pretty good foundation of a network, then you start thinking about using one of the premium options. So more visibility into your searches, more visibility into third degree names, full name visibility, better connectivity so you can reach out to people that you're not connected to. You get 5, 10 in-mails per month that you can reach out to people that you're not connected directly to. And premium search filters too. So let me just go back to a search. I can just look up John Stevens. I don't know who John Stevens is, but I'm just going to do a search for John Stevens. And when I do that, hey, Jeff, can you see my screen right now, my profile?
Yep, I see that you're searching for John Stevens.
Okay. Got it. There we go. Let me just refresh, sorry. John Stevens. So every time you see this little orange or yellow box with the "in," these are premium search filters. So when I look for John Stevens, there's a lot of John Stevens out there. And it sorts it by second degree, and then it goes into my third degree of John Stevens, people who are in groups that are named John Stevens. And I can look up for John Stevens that work at IBM. And I can even look up groups. This is a premium search filter that you get only when you have the paid for service. There are different levels: years of experience at their current company, function, seniority level, interested in, company size, Fortune 500 companies, or when they joined. So these are all premium search filters that you would get for the paid options.
Thanks for going over that. And obviously there's some great advantages to the premium versions, But, with using the alumni tool that you demonstrated, just in terms of connecting with BU alumni, even with a free account, you already have
groups, whether it's going to the Boston University page and looking up all this insight. This is all for the free version anyway.
Great. We have a few minutes left, and we've had a lot of questions. Thank you all of you for submitting them. Dan, my next question for you, Stanley has asked if you could go over asking one of your connections to make an introduction for you to somebody else that they're connected to.
Yeah, there's two ways to do that. There's a premium way which allows me to ask someone on my team to make a connection more formally in a tool. But the free version, I would say, let me just go to one of my contacts. I would say just making sure that you give them an out for not making the connection. Don't assume that they will. Keep it short and sweet and what you want. I can send a message just, with the title, make connection. Hey Steve, you don't have to introduce yourself because, as I said, that top card travels to Steve when he opens up this InMail. It'll show me that top card of his, so I know exactly who he is. I don't have to introduce myself. Keep it to 2 paragraphs. Just say, hey Steve, would love to get your opinion about connecting with John. Really have a great opportunity for him. I see that you're connected. Let me know if it would be okay if you make the connection to John. No worries if you don't know him that well, but if you do know him well, would love that connection. So give them the out. Make it short. Don't introduce. You don't need to introduce yourself to Steve. Say hi, and just explain exactly what you're looking for.
Got a great ending question from Karen, who, looking at LinkedIn from the 30,000 foot view, what would you recommend as being the most effective way for a BU alumni who's currently in a job transition to use LinkedIn? I know that's sort of the $1 million question that we're talking about today, but
yeah, that's a real strong suit of LinkedIn. It just depends on also if you're looking to make that. Well, definitely reach out to your network. That's what I did. Don't be ashamed to reach out to people that either you went to school with, your family members, your friends of your family, to just explain what's going on. And the free version will allow you to send in-mails to people that you're connected to, but it won't allow you to send in-mails or emails to people that you're not connected to. So you might want to think about, for a month or two, getting a premium subscription, whether it's a job seeker subscription, and you can go on LinkedIn to find out what the differences are. But essentially, they give you the ability to send out a few of these in-mails to people you're not connected to every month. It gives you more visibility on searching. So maybe you're interested in a few companies and you want to see if you're connected to anyone at those companies. It'll give you some better ability to filter on that information. Reach out to some of those companies, get in touch with people. I also have recommended on the Boston University alumni group to reach out to people like myself or people in cities with me and you want to get some insight. People love to give, and keep that in mind. By asking for something, you give someone the opportunity to give back. And that's really powerful to the people that are giving. It makes me feel good when I help someone out, when I go out to coffee with someone who's recently graduated and they want to understand what it's like to work at LinkedIn, or what my story was on how I got over to LinkedIn, or some of the other companies that I've worked for. What are the upsides? What are the downsides? I come away from that feeling like I helped someone out. So don't be shy about reaching out to people, about meeting them and in person, or just asking for advice.
Well, and Dan, you've certainly helped out a tremendous number of people today by offering your time for this webinar. We had a ton of questions that we just don't have time to get to. Could I ask you to maybe make yourself available on the BU Alumni Association LinkedIn group in the next couple of days to maybe answer some more questions?
Absolutely. Certainly post those and I'll start answering. And everyone, if hopefully I helped everyone, and I really appreciate your time. This was a new experience for me. I haven't talked about this, so I'll try and perfect it for the future, and we'll have a strong community, hopefully.
Dan, I think you did a great job. I really, really appreciate your time. We survey our alumni. We do a huge survey every couple of years, and the thing that we hear constantly is about, alumni want the university to help them in their continued professional development and building a network. And so between today's live presentation and the recording of this that we're going to put up on our website, I know that you're going to be helping hundreds of alumni, if not thousands. So thank you again. For those of you who aren't already a member of our BU Alumni Association LinkedIn group, I hope that you'll join us. Just go to www.bu.edu/alumni. That's the Alumni Association website. You'll find a connection for the LinkedIn group right there on the homepage. Dan, can't thank you enough. Really appreciate your time. My thanks also to everybody who participated. Hope that you found the program to be valuable and that you'll join us for our next webinar that's coming up on Wednesday, December 11th. We've got a wonderful alumna named Jill Steinberg, who's a graduate from the College of Arts and Sciences in 1972, who's founded a great resource called myretirementworks.com. Jill is going to be talking about planning for smart retirement, but not necessarily the financial aspects of retirement, but really making the best use of your time and really getting the most out of those years. If you or any BU alumni would be interested in hosting a webinar like this for the BU Alumni Association, please feel free to contact me at the Alumni Relations Office or by email at jtmurphy@bu.edu. That's J as in Thomas, Murphy at bu.edu. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Have a great time and goodbye.
Thank you.